afternoon, Year 3. How are you? I hope you're okay. This is Mrs. Hepplewhite. I'm here to take you through the first of our geography lessons of this term. So the first thing that I'll need you to do is make sure that you've got your topic book there, which is your red book. Turn to the next clean page. And can you write today's short date, which is 13.1.20, today's title, which is Geography, and then Countries and Capitals of the UK. And then underneath that, if you write your WILF, and once you finish that, have a little look at this picture here. Think about what you see, what you think, and if it makes you wonder anything. So you can pause the video here while you get all of that done, and then press play when you're ready to go. Okay, so hopefully now you've got your date, your title, and your WILF written, and you may have had a little look at this picture here. You might have to think what you can see, what it makes you think, and if it makes you wonder anything. Now, before we jump into today's lesson, we are going to do a little bit of total recall, which is something that we always do in topic lessons to recap and recall some of the knowledge and the facts that we have learned previously, because there's no point in learning stuff if we're just going to forget it. So the first one I want us to have a look at together, and you don't need to write this down, I just want you to have a little think about it. So jumping back to last time when we did history, can you remember what BC and AD stands for? What does it mean? So I can tell you, if you pause if you want to have a little think, and then press play when you're ready. But I can tell you that BC stands for before Christ. So anything that happened before the year 0, before Jesus was born. And AD is the one that always catches people out. AD stands for Anno Domini, which is basically means after the birth of Jesus. So anything after the year 0. So well done if you got those right. Let's move on to science then. When we did science, oh, it feels like ages ago. It was ages ago. Can you remember how many bones there are in an average adult human body? So pause while you have a think. Press play for the answer. I can tell you that there are 206 bones in the adult human body. So when you're first born, you don't have that many, but by the time you're a fully grown adult, you have 206. And moving on to another history, can you name 3 things that could be used as a source for historians? So remember, a source is something that a historian or someone who's looking into the past can get information from. So can you think of 3 things? So press pause, press play when you're ready for some answers. Okay, I'm probably not going to be able to name every single thing that could be used, but some of the things that could be used by historians as sources could be videos, could be photos, could be actual physical artifacts. So it could be a helmet that's been dug up, for example, newspaper cuttings, the internet, magazines, books, all sorts of things, anything you can get information from, basically. And remember, there are primary sources and secondary sources. So a primary source is the actual thing in your hand. So if you're looking up an old helmet, if you've got the actual helmet in your hand that was worn by a person in the past, that's a primary source. If you've just got a photograph of the helmet, that's a secondary source because you haven't actually got it in your hand. So well done for having a go at those with me today. Let's move on to today's lesson. So we are going to be looking at the geography of the United Kingdom, of the place that we live in during this term. And today we're going to be looking at the countries and capitals of the United Kingdom, because it's so vital that we know those key facts in order to sort of move on and learn some more stuff. So this is the stuff that I'm looking for from you today. So remember, WILF stands for what I'm looking for. So if you want to get bronze or silver or gold or challenge today, these are the things that you would have to be showing your teacher or me in order for me to say, yes, they can understand bronze or silver, etc. So to get bronze today, you will need to be able to independently, remember that word there means by yourself, independently name all 4 countries of the United Kingdom. So that's to get bronze. If you want to get silver, you're going to have to be able to do that, name all 4 countries and each country's capital city. If you want to get gold today, you need to name all 4 countries and their capitals and be able to identify their flags. So be able to say, yep, that's the flag of this country, or that's the flag of this country. And if you really want to go for it today, which I want as many of us as possible to go for challenge, you will need to be able to do all of these things here, but also identify some key characteristics of each country. And if you're not quite sure what this word means, especially in this context, you will understand as the lesson goes on. So we're all going to aim for challenge today if we possibly can. Your learning powers today are listening and independence, because obviously independence was mentioned quite a lot in those WILFs. Independently name the country, independently name the capital. So we're definitely going to be using our independence in this lesson today. Now, the first thing that I want you to do, we call it an elicitation task, and we do this in English quite often. We do it in science, and we're going to do it in geography. All it means is we're trying to elicit, we're trying to find out what you already know about a certain topic. In this case, in this lesson, it's about the countries of the United Kingdom. So it says you have got a sheet to complete. Now, the sheet is available, it is attached on Microsoft Teams. If you don't have a printer at home, that's not a problem at all. I don't have a printer. So it's not the end of the world at all if you cannot print that out. If you can, great. But if you can't, you could either try and draw a quick outline yourself. Obviously, don't worry too much about all these little islands here. Just try and draw a very brief outline and try and label each country. Or if you're not a fan of sort of drawing out the outline, just write down whatever you know. Write down whatever countries you know that exist in the United Kingdom. And if you know any capital cities, list them as well. And if you think you know any of the flags of each of the countries, you could try and draw them as well. Okay, so try and give yourself about 4 or 5 minutes for that. Like I said, if you can print it out, great. If you can't, try one of these other options. But pause the video, and when you think you've written down everything you know about the United Kingdom in terms of countries, capitals and flags, you can press play and we can go again. Okay, so hopefully you have written down absolutely everything you think you know. It might be loads, it might not be very much at all, and it's not a problem either way. The idea of this is that you have a look back at what you knew at the beginning, and hopefully by the end of the lesson you will know so much more. Okay, so let's move on. Now, key vocabulary, we do this every lesson, but I'm not going to show you just yet because the key vocabulary will give it all away. So we'll come back and have a look at that later on. So, today's lesson is going to focus on the countries and capital cities of the United Kingdom, or UK for short. So I'll probably refer to it as UK from now on, but I mean United Kingdom. There are 4 countries which make up the United Kingdom, and this is them here. So this is a picture of the outline of the United Kingdom. We've got England. That's starting all the way down here. We're down here, look, just by here. It goes all the way from the tip down here of Cornwall all the way up to this line here up by Cumbria, the county of Cumbria. So England is the biggest of the countries of the United Kingdom, and that's the one in which we live. There's also Wales. So this is Wales here, just off to the side of England. There's also Scotland. That's the northernmost country of the United Kingdom up here. And obviously that line there is where Scotland starts. And you've got Northern Ireland, which is this little one up here. So we'll look at this landmass quite often and we think of it as Ireland, but it is split into Northern Ireland. That's the one that's part of the UK. But it's important to know that this area of land here is called the Republic of Ireland. So although it's part of the same landmass, it's attached, it's part of the same piece of land as Northern Ireland, it's completely separate from the UK. It has its own laws, its own form of leadership, and they're not part of the United Kingdom. So really important to know that the Republic of Ireland exists, but we won't be talking about it from now on because it's not technically part of the United Kingdom. So those are our 4 countries: England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland. Okay, so if you can remember that independently by yourself, you're already on bronze, which is amazing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a selection of images on the next few slides. So what you'll be doing is you'll be having a look and pausing them so you can have a proper look and things like that. Each group of images is going to represent a different country of the United Kingdom. So obviously we've just learnt what the 4 of them are. They're all there. But each slide will represent a different country. So what I want you to do is have a look at the items, the pictures on the screen, Have a think and try to decide which country you think it might be and why. So a little bit of detective work here. So I won't give you the name of the country, you've got to guess from the pictures. Okay, so when I flick through the screens, obviously remember to pause so you can have a proper look at each one. Maybe give yourself a minute, 2 minutes to have a look and decide which country you think it might be. Okay, up for the challenge? Right, let's have a go. So this is the first one. Okay, it says table 1. It was going to be on tables, but this is the first one here. Okay, so 5 images, pause the screen, try and decide which United Kingdom country you think it is. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. This is the second country. So pause the screen while you have a think about which one this is. And on to the next one. Pause the screen while you have a think about which country this is. And finally, this one. Pause the screen while you have a think about which country this one is. Okay, so let's discuss what we found. So I'm just going to go back to the start here. So this one here, we have got a flag here. We've got some shortbread. Anybody else love shortbread? Anyone else eat their weight's worth over Christmas? Yep, me too. We've got shortbread. We've got a flower here. This is called a thistle. We've got a castle here. This is Edinburgh Castle. So if you didn't know before, that might have helped you then. And this here, this is something that they do in this country. It's really hard to say this without saying the country. In this country, it's called tossing the caber. This long, really heavy stick here is called a caber. And it's kind of done at their sort of national games, really, where people will try and see who can throw this large stick the furthest. So they call it tossing the caber. Did anybody know which country this was? Of course it was Scotland. So remember, Scotland's the northernmost country. It's right at the top. So the capital city is Edinburgh. It's a national emblem. Now, might be a new word for you. It's basically something that represents that country. Okay, so theirs is the thistle, which is this this flower here, and their national anthem actually is the, I think it's called the Thistle of Scotland. I apologise if anyone's listened to this and that's wrong, but the Thistle of Scotland. The flag is this one here, so it's a blue background with the white cross in the middle. And its landmark, so a famous landmark that you could recognise Scotland by, is Edinburgh Castle. I wonder if anyone has been to Edinburgh Castle. I went a couple of years ago and it was so busy, but it's a beautiful place to go and visit. So that, of course, was Scotland. So lots of things there about that country. Now, next we went to this one here. So we can rule out Scotland, but we're trying to decide which one it is. So let's talk through what we've got. We've got the flag again, just here. We have got this here, which is a beautiful landmark. This is the city hall of the capital city of this country. We have got here some soda bread, and I can't say the country because I'll give it away, but it is some soda bread. We have got some dancing here. Lily said the word again. And we've got some dancing here, some traditional dancing. And we've got this one here, which is a shamrock. As we recognise it as a clover. But in this country, as its national emblem, it's called a shamrock. So did anybody know which country of the UK this was? It was Northern Ireland. So remember, we must say Northern Ireland because it's not just Ireland, because it's split into two. So it's this one up here. So the capital city of Northern Ireland is Belfast. Its national emblem, and I did do a bit of research around this because I wasn't sure if the shamrock was just for the Republic of Ireland, but I am informed that the shamrock is the national emblem and the national flower of Northern Ireland. This is its flag, so white background with a red cross, and a famous landmark is Belfast City Hall, which is this beautiful building here. So that was Northern Ireland. Now we're only left with two. Let's talk through what we have found here. So we have got a flag. We have got a rose. We have got a scone. We have got Big Ben. And we have got some sort of traditional dancing going on here as well. So it was, of course, England. Our country, England, where we live. So its capital city is London. National emblem is the rose. The flag is this white background with a red cross, similar to Northern Ireland's, but the cross just looks different. And its landmark is Big Ben. So that one was, of course, England. Now, moving on to the last one, we should know which one this is now because we've eliminated all the others, but let's just discuss what we found. So we had the, what did we say it then? We had the flag. We have this food here, which is a type of cake, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. We've got the Millennium Stadium here. We've got a daffodil, and we've got some traditional dress. So these are in fact Welsh cakes, which probably gives away which country it is. The daffodil here, which is the national emblem of this country, and this stadium here, which is in Cardiff, which is the capital city of Wales. So that was our final country, which is here. So capital city, Cardiff. The national emblem is the daffodil, but also sometimes when you look, it's the leek, the vegetable, the leek. The flag, which is probably the most complicated to draw of all of them, as you will find out shortly, which is green and white background with the red dragon, and a landmark would be the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. So that one was Wales. So you're now going to consolidate your knowledge from this lesson by creating a lovely fact file on each country. So on the next slide, I'm going to show you a waggle. Remember, that stands for what a good one looks like, of what this could look like. So let me just show you the one that I did. Now, ignore the date. I did the date wrong. It was when we were originally supposed to teach it. But anyway, you'll have the right date, obviously. And this is what your fact files could look like. So I've got England at the top. I wanted to get challenge today. So remember, challenge was being able to say the countries, their capitals, and the flag. That was gold. But then a couple of extra pieces of information, a couple of key characteristics gave me challenge. So what I've done is I've listed the country, its capital city, and its emblem. So the little picture that represents that country. A food that goes with that country, and a landmark. And by doing that for each country, I've managed to get challenge. So I've decided to set it out this way on one page. You might decide that you want to set it out so you split your page into 4. So you have England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. It's up to you really exactly how you want to set it out. But if you're really, really stuck and you're struggling for how to set this piece of work out today, just have a look at this one that I've done, and that can help you out. So remember, you're going to create a fact file. If you want to get bronze, you're going to name the countries. Silver is to name the countries and their capital cities. Gold is to name countries, capitals, and their flags. And challenge is adding in a couple of extra pieces of information. And you can use all the information that we've learned today. Don't worry about thinking about all brand new stuff, because that will take you even longer. Okay, so that is your challenge for today, Year 3, is to create a little fact file about each country of the United Kingdom. You can pause the screen here if you would like this one to use as a waggle, or you can go back at any point in the video to have a look back at any of the stuff that we've discussed. So you can pause the video here. There will be a short plenary at the end of the video, so if you would like to watch that after you've completed your work, you can come and watch that as well. Okay, I'm just going to move forward onto the plenary. So and before we do that, just make sure that you wilf your work if you've done bronze, silver, gold, or challenge. Well done. I really hope lots of us went for challenge today, especially because we had that waggle there. And the plenary today is just to sort of talk about the flags, really, because I always find this quite interesting. So the flag of the UK combines the crosses of 3 of the patron saints. So it doesn't include Wales, but it includes Scotland, Northern Ireland, and England. And if you have a look at the flag of the United Kingdom, it is a combination all 3 of these flags together. So we've got this cross from England, we've got this red cross from Northern Ireland, and we've got the blue background and the white cross of the Scottish flag. So those 3 flags come together to make the flag of the United Kingdom, which some of you may or may not have known. So that is it for today's geography lesson, Year 3. I hope you enjoyed learning about our 4 countries of the United Kingdom. It's so important that we're able to name those and their capital cities as part of our geography for this term. So don't forget to Wolf Your Learning, and don't forget to take a picture or upload it to Teams and send it directly to your class teacher, because they would love to see what you've been up to, and give you some feedback and some well dones and pats on the back for the amazing learning that you've done this afternoon. So thank you very much for having this lesson with me, and I will see you next week for another geography lesson. Take care, bye.